If you're not here by now, you're officially late. Good day, everybody. How are you doing? Good to see everyone. You know, Playboy, actually, I missed a really significant opportunity. I should have started the stream at 11:54 today. So, actually, I could have really done into this, and I only realized it like seconds before I started, so it wasn't going to happen. Good to see you all. Can everybody hear me? Yes, very Bioshock-like. Which I love that one too. And I would actually say there's aspects of that as well in there, you know, so it's pretty cool stuff. Alrighty. Well, if that be the case, then it's officially time to start the thing. Fast is chaos. How's the music for the game?
December 31st, 1999. Let's say goodbye to the old year with a track you all know and love from global sensation Online.
Hey, what's up, dude? How are you? How does the stream look, everybody? Is it alright, or does it look bad?
Bastard!
So I just want to say, and I have it in the thing there, but I got to give a real special thanks to my buddy Zero. He's been pretty busy recently, so he hasn't been able to play a lot of Warframe at the same time. It's a big ask for him to allow me to use his character to do this, but he was willing to, and so we got to do him proud for that.
Break, Arthur. Don't mess with my game time.
Need my Tommy keys, Amir. I'm not letting another lead on Entrati go to waste.
Oh, that was cheating.
Yeah, I've seen the alternate ending. Unfortunately. But YouTube knows what I like.
My keys better not be in that mess.
Learn to hotwire. Jeez.
That'll be relevant later.
Did you take my damn keys.
Don't distract me, Boy Scout.
No disrespect, Quincy. Got places to be is all. Someone is taking my stuff.
I mean, I saw the ending. I don't know why everybody's calling it good. it's different, but it's.
How's she doing?
If she wasn't your blood, she'd be on her own out there.
Got a lead on Entrati. Sewers. Arse deep in Techron, most likely. I'm going after him. For all our sakes. Letty, look, if you've taken my keys again...
This quest is so good. So, I had actually put out a thing here recently that I was going to be putting the ARG video out this week. But a lot of the stuff that I had in my script has been kind of like answered, per se. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll in the ARG video and the Warframe 1999 video, because it's all relevant in the end of the day. So it'll be like one big one. And that will be out this week.
Hero boy.
You're going after Dr. E all by yourself.
Or maybe you're gonna bail on us.
Nidius, yeah.
Forget it.
We're in this mess because of you.
I'm coming too!
Guys? Am I sensing some tension here?
No one's bailing. I got us into this, and if it kills me, I'll get us. Fine. Aoi, Amir, Quincy on backup. Letty, you and Eleanor hold the fort here. Keep the Jennies running.
I guess we don't ride the devil down this time. Right?
Kill on sight.
Mommy, indeed. Might have to make those damage numbers a little bit smaller.
Enemy in the area.
This quest is so good. Just in the way that it plays. Oh my god, I love it.
Zone is hot. You crannies.
This is a really good song too. I can't remember what it's called.
Pity have been allies, kiddo. My school drop? Put that thing down!
So, I gotta tell y'all, like, when I first did this, because this isn't my first playthrough, that part right there, like, kind of confirmed it, but everything about this just seemed weird to me, because I covered so much about the quest up to this point, that I noticed that all the dialogue was all completely different. Not just in, like, what I would say, like, in words, but in tone as well. Does that make sense? And immediately I got to thinking about, you know, kind of in my last video, what I had been talking about, what the Drifter was. And, you know, it immediately made me think, like, okay, something's really messed up with this whole scenario. And then whenever she said the kiddo thing, I was like, ah, okay, now it all makes sense to me.
Too slow, Arthur.
I had it under control.
Can you guys notice that it's slower? It's actually like kind of like just slowed down enough to make it almost sound a little creepy.
Time to ride.
Have it your way. By this time next year, nothing will remain of you slugs. Meet the co-star of your grand finale, an H-04 F-Verb on tank.
Don't they look like the Entrati eyes, or even like the Eye of Horus, if you will?
The vents above
The vents.
treads.
Victor, drop them in. Now!
Found a hole in its shield, Arthur.
Thanks, Quincy.
Unfortunately, this fight's almost a little, like, too short. This was kind of longer. But this actually is a pretty cool boss. Especially in, like, you know, Warframe 1999, per se. Hey, kiddo. I am using a friend's account. They had a great ask. They were willing to allow me to play this quest because I don't have a secondary account. But he's my buddy since college, so we go way back. we've never lost contact or anything. Yes, I did fight the super tank, and it is incredibly beefy, and everybody just wants to kill you there.
Arthur! What the hell was that? Where are you? Come in!
He's here, deep in the tech rut.
The infested wasn't necessarily linked to the void, but it sure is now.
Got him.
See, like this right here, this is like straight remnant. I saw this entire, even with the coloring and everything, which I love. Why not take inspiration from good games? Who did it right? Who did the environment correct? I mean, that's what everybody does. Oh, I didn't realize I still had my Exalted Blade on.
Dropped him.
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I actually fought the secret boss. That I've only done it one time. It was with a bunch of random people, and we got our butt kicked. It was bad. That being said, I don't know that like I really understood what I needed yet. So the next time I go in, I'll probably be better prepared for it. I went in with Titania, and I mean it was great right up until the very end. Like I made the mistake of trying to get a down ally, and the second that I came out of Razorwing, like that was over.
What in hell?
Yeah, that's really. I don't even know if you need Jade. You just need Nadaruk. That weapon is amazing. Thank you, DE, for us carpal tunnel people for making that easy to do. This is my favorite quest so far. I really do believe so. Only because of the gameplay, too, on top of the story. I enjoyed the slowed down version of this. Like, I like that a lot. Warframe can kind of get overwhelming with how much power we have.
What devils follow you?
I don't think it got access to the ability to spit out new ones, but... Well, if you go and see your new room, it kind of makes a little more sense.
That's no way to treat our little tourist.
He won't talk.
Oh, not even to me.
Not my type.
Oh, but we're old friends.
Aren't we, Master? Master, my master, why hast thou abandoned me?
All that matters is I'm here now. There, my faithful man-cat.
But is it really you? After all these years, I've... Master, you're hurting me.
That's it, isn't it? The poison to your plan.
And what is that?
Love.
Whoa! Like Marty McFlee.
You taking a piss?
If it's bullshit. I'll feed Marty here to the tech rod myself, but the clock's running out.
The nuke. Kinda makes sense, actually.
Happy New Year. Well, you're on point, Marty. But you try any of those head games again, and there won't be much left for Letty to stitch back up. You read me? Loud and clear.
So, like, just to kind of get into the chat thing, yeah, I think that I think you have to always remember too that the Orokin are very heavily based on the Roman Empire. So somebody of extreme power having like a servant like Lloyd and engaging in the exact same things and, you know, loving that person even more than their own wives and stuff was pretty common. So that's just how it is. I wouldn't make too big of a deal out of it because, like I said, it just is what it is. But it's perfectly, you know, it makes absolute story-wise sense. It's perfect. Yeah, but you have to remember that Entrati is Orokin, and he went through all of the Orokin times. So he would have engaged in everything that any other Orokin would have. In fact, I would say that he's facilitated more so than many.
Check me out, giving kit to Entrati's cybercore. Nah, more like V1000 sent to smoke us all, alright?
Okay, so now the concept of this, for those who are wondering. I believe the idea is, and you'll see this a little bit later when we actually get access to our full arsenal. This is just a base frame. Helminth can make this. You know, it can subsume frames, so it could make just a regular base Excalibur, you know, the stuff that you would basically create, you would put together, you know, farming it. And with a vessel, especially one that has some kind of tie between dimensions, there might lie a connection and thus a method by which Arteno could easily pass between. Does that make sense?
So you just puppet this thing? Whole lot of metal in there. Arthur's taking a chance on you. You hurt him, and I'll twist you inside out. Try not to scratch the paint.
No, this is actually a friend of mine let me use his account. Like I said, it was very, very nice of him to do this, but unfortunately with us not being able to replay it, and this was really the only way I could do it.
Chatter. 19 hours till we're popping corks or vaporized. We get in Trati and put a stop to this.
The terrorists. Love what you've done with the place, lady.
Huh. I mean, I don't know if that was supposed to be towards Trump, but at the same time, again, it fits not in the same way that somebody who believed in what they were doing was correct. Again, not to get political, I stopped taking sides on politics a long time ago. It's a fruitless endeavor. But it was an interesting. When I heard it, I was like, okay, I see where you're gonna go with this.
Got a heat here in the op block, Arthur. You sure Mighty's lead isn't just a setup? You holding something back, hero boy?
You wouldn't believe it anyway.
Oh yeah, I guess you could really think about that. That's crazy. That like maybe the man in the wall is. You think DE would do that? Well, let's see how this keeps playing out if more and more references show up, because it's actually kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think Trump would even care. He likes all the attention. What are you talking about? I mean, like him or love him or hate him, like you gotta know he loves the attention. So he's probably all about it. I think you can. They actually do a crap ton of damage too, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course it's real. Some glitch in the old control software. Written in COBOL.
I mean, so for reference, everybody, I was around in 1999. You know, I was, you know, I was basically just about to get into college at that point. So all the little references in this quest is another thing. Like, there are tons of little, just tiny little things that I do believe that if you weren't actually there for it, you'd miss a lot of it because it was so subtle, you know. But if I more that show up, I'll try to bring them up, and then, you know, if you guys understood them already, you can just say done. No shit, Siege. We know that kind of thing. I am. You believe that? Clever girl. Not clever enough.
Holding cells ahead. Big moment.
I love the whole Marty thing. Oh my god. I was just loving that from the second I heard it. You know, I gotta say that even with this limited thing, right? Like, you can definitely feel the power of the Tenno as being purposely restrained here. Do you know what I'm saying? And that made me feel kind of bad at the moment, but like good knowing, you know, that we were gonna, you know, come on. We're the Tenno, you know? And even in our limited power, we're a one-man wrecking crew. Or, well, I guess one-woman wrecking crew in certain instances. But it's still Excalibur, so you get the picture. Hello? Where are you going, buddy? But I will say this, and I think it even sticks in actual Halvania. There is no shortage of energy. It is everywhere. Like, I don't even think you need to worry about Zeneric in a lot of instances. You can just go right in there and enjoy yourself. Because it just seems like energy just drops constantly. Maybe I was just getting lucky. I don't know. Moment of truth. I personally think there will be more proto-frames. I think that, if nothing else, just for the reason that everybody loves them. So, it's only going to make story-wise sense, financial sense, content-wise sense. One of the best parts in the whole quest right here. Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you.
Better have him. Marty? Is Entrati there?
He's gone. It's broken through already. Changing things.
Bollocks! Get your ass out of there! Quincy, Owie, we need fire support! I told you this was a setup!
Yes, the acolytes follow you to the steel path. It's actually, this part here feels like playing Dark Sector, but like turned up to 11. Like, I feel like I have a fighting chance of actually hitting something with my weapons versus it's going like this. You hear that? I guess I could use this thing, huh? I like how you can drive this up to the extraction point, and then you have to get off of it and get back on it. Hey, Lana, how are you? Eternally, yeah, I think I wanted to tell you too that I am planning probably this week to do a members only stream to play together, because I think that you know, getting some Warframe 1999 in there would be fun. So I'll let you all know. I thought we were talking about that. Oh, there's... hold on, I'll get into the connection in a second.
Didn't come out here to cut and hide. If The E won't stop this.
And I say we do it. Am I right, Amir?
Amir!
I could do Sunday or
Where's
Saturday.
Entrati? You said this was a loop.
Not anymore, is it? Your boogeyman changed the rules. You're toast, like the rest of us know.
Seems so. But that means we can change it too.
Stop the nuke.
No one listens.
Get me wired in.
Yeah, we can definitely do a Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. That's the easiest. Right?
Pumping out spores.
I don't want more of that shit in my system.
Stow it, Letty. Amir, talk to me. Is your plan ready?
Almost. Just needs a transponder on site. Any Scalger console down there should do it. Hell scrubbers. Giant air filters to capture Techrot spores. I've commandeered their deployment system. Just need you to keep them pumping.
Quincy and Marty, keep the air clean while the rest of us search the tunnels for a terminal. You too.
I've found it's easier to just use them, especially in this one. And then that way you don't have to keep watching them and worrying about if they're going to turn into one of them things.
Hey, don't forget, some Scalger carry personal Spore X charges for their own safety. Not that they'll do them much good with you around.
I do not have a glowing dragon tattoo on my butt. Can you believe it? Or do I?
New health scrubber, inbound!
Little Amir knows all about these ops and their systems. A proper boss like you was smart enough to figure it out, innit, Marty?
After months subsumed by Techrot, those hell scrubbers still work. Who'd have thought it?
Eleanor, you sensing any civilians down here?
Not one.
So, wherever they're hiding out, it's above ground. That's a mercy.
That's good to know for now. So chat, do me a favor and put in the comments what all you think are the plot holes, because I'm interested. Because there's a piece that I don't know. I think is very relevant, but it doesn't come within this quest. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense? I'll see if I can explain. I mean, I can't say I can explain all of them because there could be ones that I haven't thought of yet, and if you guys have picked up on it, I may not have an answer, but there are certain ones I bet you I can at least... One in particular that I think is weird, but definitely has an explanation. So, in an earlier variation that we saw, they don't blame Kalimos for any of this. they don't think of Kalimos as a like being like as a minion of Entrati. And I think it's Aoi actually says that in some of the dialogue, because they actually wonder if somebody actually kills, if somebody actually does get to Entrati, who's gonna watch that poor cat? Yeah, so they don't look at Kalimos in the same way. I'm not saying that it necessarily answers that question, but it definitely offers what I would consider to be, you know, fairly legitimate explanation, if you will. Okay. So Entrati absolutely has void powers, because he's been in, like, I do absolutely believe, and I've said this in my previous videos, that where is
Scrubber, overwhelmed. Spores coalescing into
hold on, let me grab this real quick.
do something.
Whereas Entrati's original encounter with the Void may not have produced a quote-unquote deal, I believe he went back and actually made his deal. And within this quest, there are, at least from one character's perspective, kind of allusions to the idea that he isn't the only Orokin who willingly went forward and
Look up latent infection, bitch.
discussed the deal, or tried to get a deal together. Further, it almost, in ways, and once we get through the quest here a little bit further, where we get to the relevant parts, it may actually add additional context into why the Orokin were so vehemently, at least on the face of the government, like against twins in their society. The context being that whereas society wasn't necessarily allowed to have twins or like twins or anything, that doesn't mean that the Orokin weren't allowed to engage with twins. And it could have been a method by which of not allowing regular people to potentially gain power, where the Orokin had kind of like let's say the monopoly on that particular thing. Okay, so Helminth being in this quest would seem odd, until then you remember that... Oh man. How many people in chat like have not seen this quest yet?
Sensing a scourge force on the surface.
Even Spaldra got more sense than
I mean, is there anybody here that is looking to not get spoiled? Because I assumed most people have already completed the quest, and we're coming to today's stream to kind of like discuss stuff. That's what we've been told. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. And I think that you're going to find that a lot of stuff, Orokin-wise, may have been kind of in a lot of ways like Entradi's, like, personal documents seem to retell things in a way that isn't necessarily the truth. And there's a part in this quest, and again, it all depends on, it's really based upon who do you believe. That's what I like about this quest the most, is this is like, it's a legitimate whodunit from beginning to end.
You in?
Route access confirmed. Albania Public Utilities, I am in. MP3s?
What did you do, Amir? Come in. Com's dead.
Okay, so with Helminth, does anybody remember the original demo that they showed and the dialogue that was there? I guess you can't even dance. Damn, that sucks. So the point is, I'm just going to say this, and people will understand it. If they do, that's good. If they don't, I'll talk about it further. How many times have we done this? The idea that they're trying to, well, on the surface idea is this is just the first time this has happened. But what you have to ask is this really the first time this happened? Or is this the first time that we've enacted change in this situation? So when you think about that, the concept of the Helminth moving from one dimension to another starts to have a lot more plausibility. Especially if it's just producing a base Warframe, not some special thing, not a prime, not a new type of frame in particular. And I think it was intentional that essentially that it was an XCal frame, like just the base frame that the majority of people will pick. You know, the thing that you get in the very beginning of the quest, the Warframe that like everybody can just utilize quickly. It's a Swiss Army knife type thing. It's mass produced, right?
What is going on?
Isn't it great? Amir got these from the hag.
The Tau part, that's... So I put a tweet out today. If you read that tweet, that whole scenario there was like, dude, no.
Sorry, got it.
Come on.
The question you have to ask is did... Let's put it this way. Did the Drifter, was he the first person to figure out how to change the frame? Or is he just the latest?
Kalimos. She showed up after the hag.
And Trotty cares about Tao for the same reason Ballast did.
Maybe we got off on the wrong. Entrati.
Now remember some things too. Listen very intently in this room in particular throughout the quest. I tried them all, by the way. They don't do anything.
You are seeing this. Your loop has been altered.
No kidding.
You and I are trapped here. Soon, the murmur will crawl through the cracks and devour this world and its possibilities. Our only means of escape, our only hope to contain this horror I have created, will require a spark of energy rare in this timeline. You know what this means. Do not allow Arthur and the Hex to stop this. I realize what I am asking, but you of all people understand what is at stake. For the sake of everything before and to come, at midnight tonight, the bomb must go off.
Guys, I really think we're going to be put to a serious question at some point, and I don't think a lot of people are going to be ready for it. It's some good. It's the good. Did anybody stay in here long enough to hear all this?
We found him, Marty! Come on!
Who?
Not in this reality, the white rhinos aren't extinct.
They've been moving a VIP at regular intervals. It's gotta be Dr. E, right? Meet me across town.
Fences up, Scoldra.
That convoy's a trap. I doubt Andrade's even on it.
Oh, I used the control from my rhino.
Only he can stop this.
I gotta get the rhythm of whatever speed trigger is on here. But this thing does enough damage as it is, so we're all good.
Convoy approaching the Mara tunnels. That's the place to hit them.
No air support. Smart.
I'm just a pretty face, Arthur.
Arthur. What if he doesn't?
Just hold us to Owie. Rest of us will catch up.
Get these assholes off my back! Still not used to whatever this is. Here, let's ditch the cycles for something less conspicuous.
Yeah, I believe that is a plot hole too. Rhino would not struggle. This song is amazing. How did they miss? This is a very 90s type tune. Reminds me of the group that there was like a group that sounded like Rage Against the Machine that did music for WWF at the time, WWE now. Sounds a lot like them. I'd have given that one to me. Okay, this fight's a weird one.
Tell me, Toto, what's he done to earn your loyalty?
It's complicated.
Don't you think it's weird that like the Indifference understands the concept of the Wizard of Oz? Ah.
Not the jealous type, but if I can't have him, you can't either!
Yeah, this part was weird.
into her.
Who are you?
Kill her. Now.
So, I've already seen this one, and I have them on. Luckily, I got these two parts, or this one part here. So I'll have this one, and I saw somebody else's on for a different answer. So I'm gonna go with this one here.
What? Then how'd I be any different?
If you cannot.
Doesn't his eyes look black?
This much. How will you do what comes next?
What's he talking about, Marty?
Maybe I won't.
Are you more a child than your mother? Do you think I am not haunted by these choices?
No.
Marty's legit.
That was the truth, chaos, truth, by the way. And then, yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Nice score you got us here, Arthur. You know what? I've had my fill of the circus. I'm out.
Quincy! Come on, man. Maybe we don't need Marty to stop this. Don't do...
North's your best bet. Mountains might be a chance against the fallout.
Cheers. Look.
Anyone else? No.
We'll still follow you, brave king. But this half-assed plan's gone full guano. Amir's Y2K thing won't even work.
Yeah. I should have said. Controllers... air-gapped. Good policy, actually.
Air-gapped.
Off-net. We'd have to full-on the reactor and patch it direct. Only about 4,000 Skuldra to the 6 of us. Bad odds, we.
5 of us. Arthur. Maybe it is time to bail.
There's an army beneath our feet, you all know it. My loving brother just needs to ask. I know he's itching to.
Eleanor? Arthur? Don't you dare. She's barely hanging on as it is.
You said it yourself, Letty. Bad odds. Eleanor. I'm asking. Please.
Please? Grand years even indeed. Okie dokie, Arthur. He's on point.
So, if you saw The Matrix Reloaded, you already knew what was about to happen here. This whole next part is so reminiscent of that movie. It's like, I mean, you know me, I loved it. But, you guys want me, I'll pick Howie.
Zoological Gardens.
Oh, I get.
Mission on
Oh,
easy.
nice.
If you can get past the Skuldra.
They found us!
think they've contained the outbreak here, but the tech rot here is different. More patient.
Dude, she scares me.
They can do that?
Taking fire! From darkness you came, and to darkness I consign you.
Did I mention how much I really love the gameplay? It just feels really good, that's all. That was an awesome kick, by the way.
I am not in the mood.
Ah! God, we need some roar on this thing. Or maybe we'll just go past it. It's an interesting thing that you mentioned the tongue.
And without your mystery,
I'll say no more.
they taught Britannic men better.
Victor, you love this city. Y2K is gonna haywire the plot. Call off your dogs for the night and help us.
So, like, you get...
Y2K.
Hold on.
Ozone. Acid rain. And I took you for a warrior. Air support. You're a go for drop.
You get to do the bounties at Halvania, allow you to do them. Dude, I'm going to say, the way that they did the bounties and stuff and just the gameplay of this, I absolutely adore it. And you'll be able to play with the hex of your choosing if you want to rank them up and stuff. Sorry, Amir. Didn't mean to shoot you in the face. I've really enjoyed this update a lot so far. It's really fun. And it's very different. Very cool. Super fun. Good time to be a Warframe player for certain. Oh, there they are. They're all four of them here.
Mediocre display. And not worth my time. Enjoy your picnic in the park, children.
Wait here. I do this alone.
I'm sorry we put you up to this.
So within this little aspect of the quest, there's something that she mentions here that kind of makes me... This was the thing that kind of switched me over from wanting to get close with Eleanor and move to Letty. I won't lie. It's in this particular part. That's the line right there. Take it all how you all would like it, but for me, that was a deal breaker. Unfortunately, I can't trust Eleanor anymore.
Come back from this.
Then none of us will.
Drippy!
Oh, let's not look too close.
Oh, I'm one of the Drippy squad.
It's just a journey, friend.
I like how it takes off. Like, it's definitely scared of her. There's no two ways around it. And for good reason. Let's be real.
Well, it was quicker, miss.
No, it really doesn't. It has its own kind of vibe to it, doesn't it? It's got, I mean, I think it's a great look. It's so cool. Yeah, everybody loves her tongue. There's no two ways around it.
Many friends.
Damn. That is something. Keep an eye on that tongue.
Are you more a child than your mother? Do you think I am not wanted by these choices?
Now, see, that looks like Wally's face so bad.
Entrati, get me out of here!
It's true.
She's in the back.
Elena is the first to die. Eleanor!
It seems like there's some kind of connection. From Arlo to the at least the online kids, they seem to be using similar hand movements and such.
perfect?
Not that old dog. This is me. Arthur! I can't!
It's actually insinuating right there that he still thinks that this is Entrati doing all this. And it makes me wonder if, is he right? Manipulation's quite the thing with both of them. Remember that.
These gifts you have, a piece of me, given freely. But those before you were butchers, flayed flesh for stolen stars.
Now see, if this is the actual indifference, they're talking about the Orokin and how the indifference seems to have a major problem with the Orokin, and like, who could blame them, you know?
I was too slow.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Before you, they did not ask. They butchered me. My flesh fed their greed.
I got listen to this, and if it kills me, not for you,
Yeah, but it does say that it was given freely, meaning that maybe the indifference didn't need a deal. It just gave the power this time.
How are we doing, Holvania?
We can't hear you!
Yo, sounds like someone's trying to kick off the party without us.
No way, man! Ain't no party till I show up.
Let's show 'em how it's really done. Holvania! Never been in love? And who's at their heart broken? We feel you, but trust me, stay strong. Time heals everything. And I know you know it, right? It's love. It's time.
This part's amazing.
Arthur, this place is swarming with Skuldra.
Hold that. Should get it open.
If I start breaking out into singing, you're gonna have to just deal with it, everybody, because I love this song. But we're still standing here. The flicker of hope. Sorry, I love that song. Yeah, this is just this is so perfect. This is such a great ending. Just crazy stuff.
What's going on down there? 8 Squad? 8 Squad, report.
Apologize for the vocals if they were poor there, but like I said, love that song. I think I just shot Letty in the back there. I didn't mean to, though. I can't tell who's who.
Hold here. I'll clear the gas.
Three finishers. Okay. It's tough to tell who to shoot here. There's just enemies, but they're friends, but they're enemies, but they're friends, but they're enemies.
Eleanor!
She's just in the back collecting it.
Making sure that you are still you.
Of course we are. And you can be too.
Even though I'm not a big fan of Quincy, this is a good part.
What the hell? Wait. Quincy!
You are proper shit at directions, off. Heads down while I do my job, right, mate?
Show off. Better make a move, though. Don't get on you.
I'm seeing this through.
Damn, that's a lot of shots in that magazine. Holy shit. This reminds me of, what was it, Saving Private Ryan. Big time.
See you soon, Mama.
The wording toward us is pretty significant, by the way.
Don't have time for this.
Tell me you got this.
I can only type so fast.
Is that supposed to happen?
Amir? Aoi, can you do something?
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Hold them in. Aoi, stop!
This was brutal.
I can't. Arthur!
Remember who controls this one, too. I think he was already in the reactor at that point, which is why Arthur couldn't help. And then there's this jerk. And I'm not talking about Amir.
I was too slow.
He's ash in seconds. No need for misery. Come, now. Murmur expelled. Tau is in sight. They've given their lives for this. Make it count.
Just go.
No. I can save them.
All of them.
Unless you know them.
Begin again. I love that part, man. I was like, yes! Easily one of the best quests Warframe has ever put out. So, for me, the concept is pretty simple. It all is based upon who do you trust? Because we have been given in this quest a lot of additional information that maybe Entrati isn't the best person, and even the Tenno's starting to see that. But it does seem like this is all being headed toward a very specific path. The only thing that I'm really uncertain about is who is exactly the altruistic one in the end. Because both Entrati and the Indifference at this point, to me, are two sides of a coin. So I think, now again, I could be wrong, but this is just going to be my speculation, at least over this probably year, and potentially even further, we are going to be given different sides to the story, essentially. And I think at some point, we're probably going to have to choose something. It would be, perfect for exactly what everything that's been leading up to this has already been about. I mean, Entrati's a bunch. You could throw him in as the architect from the Matrix. You could have the G-Man. You could have Robert Mesner from Dark Sector. You could have. There's all different things essentially that he kind of fills the role for, but like I said, for me, the basis of this quest is laid heavily in the idea of, what do you think? You're not a kid anymore. It's time for you to choose. It's really interesting too, because we did the Lotus Eaters quest, and the whole premise behind that was that Lloyd kind of figured something out as far as where we were going to be injected, right? But then he didn't have any real place in this quest, period. Yet here's where we're getting within the context of the after quest, if you will. And I think we're still going to utilize what we kind of determined from Lotus Eaters. That's going to be how we get in at some other point. So, as far as the talking about Tau thing, if you're asking me, I think it has to do with the concept of Entrati is putting things out there. Obviously, the source of power or whatever that he needed was very much indicative of it needed the nuclear blast. So everybody in that dimension would have died. But he's also asking you to accept that for the greater good. That's the whole point behind when he's saying, Are you no more of a child than your other? That you have to be willing to make big sacrifices like him. And Trotty's trying to give the idea that the things that he's done in the past, all the experiments on all those creatures that he sent to the void that died, what he did to Min and Tagfer and all that stuff, potentially what, in my personal opinion, the Zeraman, I think was laid as a kind of bait. What you have to ask yourself is that what Yentradi is presenting to you is essentially saying that these are the sacrifices I had to make. And as much as I don't like them, this is how it had to be. What I think is being portrayed, again, this is just speculation, but what I think is being portrayed in the ending of this quest is that he's also admitting that his methods are also not necessarily the best, just the ones that he felt that he had to make. And I think what he means by when he was being interrogated by the void, if you will, love, is he's saying that the Tenno are going to be able to make a choice that I've never been able to make. They are going to essentially be able to use caring and actually giving a shit about people and saving people versus the methodology of Entradi, which was sacrifice whatever the heck you need to get wherever you want to be. What I'm concerned about is that I still am not certain that Entradi has any type of true altruism going on. And, he took a gamble in the fact that I think that Tau, in some way, shape, or form, is finished. And we get a little bit of an inkling of that in, there's a tablet in Duviri saying that people were already still working on stuff. So he was saying basically, look, dude, don't even worry about it. Just forget about this place. We can just go. We can go to Tau. It's waiting. It's ready. Kind of in the same way that Ballast did at the end of the New War, just not to us. And again, when I heard the Indifference speaking about the Orkin and how it doesn't seem to like them very much, I look back at the Orkin and I see, and it makes me wonder if, kind of like how the Indifference said, if they didn't come to him originally and, want his powers and take his powers. We don't necessarily know how many people he's interacted with now. We definitely know Lloyd and I guess Major Ruzalka. Just to me, the biggest thing that bugs me is Entradi trying to talk about love and stuff is I want to punch him. Dude, you suck at that. You're the worst. You're the worst. And over all this time, I mean, it's gotten me to the point where I've seen Entradi do way worse things than the Indifference. And I mean, really, most of the stuff that even happened was just because Entradi feared what the Indifference was. He didn't even have any proof the thing was evil. He just didn't like it being there. And then he whined about it. Yeah, I mean, and it's what you really have to start questioning in the grand scheme of things is the quote-unquote people that he cares for. Does he care for them really, or does he just care that they continue to do the things that he needs them to do? And in that regard, is it, and I think the Tenno actually, kind of exhibits that in this quest, is it worth it? I don't want to help you anymore. Now, maybe Entradi's making himself look this bad so that the Tenno, like, sees this and, I don't know, makes a different choice, but it's a weird way to go about it. I will tell you that. I mean, he really did become the demon that he said. But my whole thing is that what I don't like about it is he's becoming the demon, but trying to act the hero. Do you get me on that one? Like, he's essentially saying, "Oh, I'm right. This is the only way. This is the only way," and yet, and he just, what does it require? Sacrifice of whatever? Oh, okay, sure. I'm right. It's the only way. And to me, I don't know. I still ask, who is the worse monster? Is it the Indifference or is it Entradi? And maybe they kind of both have to go in the end. Yeah, Entradi doesn't do anything of his own. Yeah. Anything that's rough, he puts somebody else through it. Even to the point of, like, the whole thing with the Kavia whenever they were, essentially, kind of just thrown to the wolves, if you will, with that experiment. And Entradi was like, here, he just gave him to Lloyd. Here, you take him. You take him, and you figure it out. It's nuts. So, again, it's going to come down to, I think, who do you trust? But I have to say, for anybody that hasn't seen The Matrix and The Matrix Reloaded, you're going to probably have to watch both of them to get all the references, because there's so many in this particular thing. But I'm telling you, if you watch that movie, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see where they got this. I see it. It was genius. I loved it. And in this regard, like, a lot of the commenters saying that, like, he's forsaking everything for his goal. And in that regard, he's fully consumed by essentially by his own shadow. So the question really does remain, is like, who is the bad guy? And that's what I loved about this quest, because the entire time you don't know who to root for. Like, they are presenting both sides as, like, equal evils. And it's like, I'm not really sure which way to go, because this guy sucks, but this guy's like a devil. The devil can't be good, right? But yet this guy seems worse than the devil. How can that be? And the dude that's worse than the devil is asking us for his help. And it's like, dude, you're putting me in a bad spot here, because what you want is something that, as a morally good person, I can't do. There was one part of the quest that really creeped me out, everybody. Do you remember when Entradi was getting interrogated? The moment that Lloyd, who was like it was the Indifference, but in Lloyd form, had something tugging at his arm, and he called it Master, and it looked like it was actually a problem. Meaning that, kind of like the Helminth, there could be like a master entity, void entity, that we have yet to see. Maybe it's the wall form, but there could be something behind it that's even more powerful. Maybe even a higher god. Which part of the Rusalka thing? Because she had like similar things too, where basically kind of alluding to the fact that this is just a spiral. And and I actually made this point earlier that, like, we just don't know how many times this has happened. And this was my whole thing with Helminth, is who knows how many times we've already done this, or somebody else has already kind of gotten some kind of samples. There is certain people that like to do this. Not to mention the fact that if you go into Eleanor's, or no, Owie's spot. You get some hacked emails. And I mean, for the most, there's nothing big, from, Owie to him. Thank you for helping me with this. Your hacking skills are going to help online so much. It's weird that she's so into this infested group, but whatever. You don't have to be a fan of their music to admit they deserve better, right? Poor guys. If we get a paper trail of the shady backroom deals between Hitmaker and the Hulvanian government, Hitmaker being the one to keep an eye on, we can give it to online. That way, they'll have everything they need to break their contact and get away from these users as soon as we can get them home. I hear their manager is old school. He's just now figuring out email because he has to for business. Bet a tech wizard like you can hack his stuff, no problem. So he's old school. Good morning, Director. It is my pleasure to inform you that Hitmaker Music accepts your offer. There's a smoking young secretary faxing you our signed NDAs as I type this. Everyone here looks forward to hearing more about the Technosite Coda project. As they say, nothing beats Hulvanian innovation. This promises to be a fine partnership. Keep up the good work, Gregory V. Good evening, Director. I'm happy to hear that the boys' samples arrived safely. Hairbrushes from pop star dressing rooms leading to major technological advancement. It's amazing when you think about it. I hope you get what you want out of them. What was it again? DNA? You've made incredible progress on the Technosite Coda project in just a few short months. Nothing like loose regulations to encourage innovation, I suppose. Your broken eggs make the most delicious omelets. We love that about Hulvania. Not sure how much sense I'll be able to make of this, but please fax me the results. Here's to a bright future, Gregory V. Good morning, Director. Or is it morning? Or good afternoon, Director. Or is it morning in Hulvania? Time zones always mix me up. Been thinking a lot lately about some words I saw in your Technosite Coda debrief. Predictable, standardized, and controlled. Music to my ears right now. The only thing predictable about pop stars these days is their whining and complaining. Fame really goes to their perfected coiffed heads. How are things going with the Technosite Codas? I can't wait to meet these new and improved stars. Hoping for good news, Gregory V. And then finally, good afternoon, Director. Given the boys' recent outbursts, I appreciate your concern that their presence won't soothe your citizens as intended. I think it's an inspired idea to have the prototype Technosite Codas replace the boys for spoken interviews. We'll use the scripts you provided, and I'll make sure no cameras are present. The boys will remain on standby for in-person appearances only. Here's hoping the Technosite Codas will soon be able to replicate the boys' physical appearance too. Apologies for the hassle, Gregory V. Okay, so as quite a few people alluded to in the comments, that is probably Alid V from our time. How that's possible. One would think it wouldn't be until you'd realize that Entrati would have access to him without question. Even Hunhao called Alid an Orkin. The only other thing that I was thinking is that Gregory V could be a grandfather or, like an heir. That is possible too. I don't know in that regard, but they clearly have some kind of connection between the two. But regardless, you can see that 1999 is really shaping up to be something. And I think the Technosite likes the indifference personally. And I think there's something that we will find out when we do the Technosite liches, because you can see that, remember, there was a part in the demo that was shown over the summer that we still haven't seen yet in regards to the Technosite coda. But I think you're going to see there's going to be dialogue that's going to bridge that gap. Proto-Zanuka, yeah. You never know. Yes, so if you go into the secret room, that's where you'll get... That's where the... when you hit rank 5, you'll be able to do something special. I'm not going to say anything more here because I don't really want to spoil anything. But I will say this, guys. Someone over there? No. Kalimos is looking kind of rough here. To a hawk. So we can definitely see something is on the way there. I personally can't wait. So, what did y'all think of the quest? Pretty good one, wasn't it? No, rank 5 isn't achievable. Some people were able to get it because they were... there was like a bug in the beginning, like as soon as it launched, and I think if you were like really grinding it out, it lets you go past the max standing cap, or caps, that you could get for the day. And they actually got to see. In fact, Dara, I don't know if I want to say this. You'll figure it out on your own. But, so, for this week, I had made mention earlier, but I'm going to say it again. I had plans to release the video on the ARG. However, a good portion of my script was, instead of it saying could be this, now I can say is this, now that the quest is done. So the script isn't going to make a ton of sense at the moment. So what I've decided to do is take the information from the ARG and I'm going to put that into the Warframe 1999 video. So I'll have everything all together in one video. That'll come this week. So just keep your eye out for that. And I do very much appreciate you joining me today for Warframe 1999. I do apologize for not being able to stream it on Friday, but I had like a 13-hour stream on the day prior, and it just kind of took it out of me. My voice was not feeling it, so I figured I would try to put it off and hopefully get one of my buddies to let me use his character. So the dark sector thing, what I believe is kind of like the Half-Life thing. I very much believe that Entrati, again, this is high speculation, but Entrati may have figured out ways into other dimensions. Or the only other thing is that Entrati found a way into our dimension in order to make Dark Sector real. And if that's the case, which I think a lot of the ARG with the fourth wall breaking aspects of it, which was like I said, it was heavy this time, insinuates that technology from that era may have found its way into Warframe. With that in mind and conceptual embodiment, that's the thing you have to remember. Something that was fiction in another world could be kind of like Duviri, could be made into reality in the Warframe universe, meaning that technically, Little Red Riding Hood, if you were, exposed to a heavy enough amount of the void and you had an emotional thing and you were, thinking about Little Red Riding Hood, in theory, Little Red Riding Hood would be created in the Warframe universe. And I think in that regard, that's where you're going to potentially see little ties with Half-Life and Dark Sector. Well, that's my whole point, is that it's supposed to be fiction, but you have to remember with Entrati, you can't look at 1999 as where Entrati gets his information from. Entrati has been to our time and gone back. So everything from before 1999 up until the very end of what we know in our timeline is on the table for Entrati. He's not sitting in 1999 only with 1999's technology. He could have brought, just like with Helminth technology was after 1999, but he was able to bring it back into this time and use it on the Hex. So Entrati could, in fact, yes, make a Hayden Tenno. Absolutely, that's what, this thought process of conceptual embodiment, especially like I said, if you have to think about it in this regard, Duviri. If you all know my thoughts about Duviri, but if say it's definitive that the Drifter created Duviri, or say Eularia created Duviri, it doesn't really matter. The point is that they took a fictional story that she had, that Albert Entrati had essentially made up as a bedtime story and made it into a real thing. So if Duviri was made into a real thing, what's stopping in this world Fallout, if they play the game, into becoming a real thing? What's stopping anything? If it exists in 1999, or if it exists, I guess, at any point at this point, like, throughout all of history, technically, the Void could create it into a real thing. Yes, I did start to look a little bit into Arthur and his questions into Duviri. It's pretty interesting. I don't want to go into too much here. Yeah. But I just think that this is the basis of all that stuff. And I think it's why you see so many different type of references. Because consider, guys, another thing to think is, do you know what else obviously exists in that timeline? Back to the Future. In fact, it must be a favorite of the Hex, because not only are we called Marty, which is a clear, reference to Back to the Future, everybody knows it, everybody understands it. So that movie absolutely exists in the Warframe universe. So you have to ask yourself, now, what else does? No, the Technosite is actually, it's called that in Warframe too. Yeah, I love the whole Back to the Future thing. It was just amazing. It really was. So this is a good story, guys. I'm just telling you straight up, like, it's a good story, but it's almost, I would akin this the same way to more of This is more like seasons in a long TV show than it is like one story goes to the next story, goes to the next story. Like, you needed to have watched all of the seasons, all of the episodes to get the full gist of what's happening right now. Wouldn't it be awesome if we were able to bring the Doomslayer actually into Warframe? Damn, dude, that'd be a thing. That'd be awesome. Look who I brought. So the tech rot in Infested is essentially the Technocyte. There's just two bases of it. You know, the Orc kind of talk about it more in its wartime applications, but also the Technocyte was originally developed. Well, at least a portion of it was developed to take the lands in off of stripped planets, because that was the main thing. The reason why the Orkin wanted to go to Tau in the first place was because they had essentially stripped all of the planets of their natural resources, right? So the idea behind the Technocyte was because it could take in organic and inorganic matter and make it into new things, that they could basically repopulate the planets again, you know, give them plant life and everything else. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. So it ended up multiple instances. It's been kind of like it's broken out, and it's one of those things that the Orkin probably, if they could uninvent it, they probably would have. Yeah, I thought that the whole year stuff was going to be dedicated to this quest. Yeah, which is, you know, it's going to be freaking amazing. I'm so excited. You don't even know. So happy. Just, I love new Warframe content time. It's just so much fun because they jam pack so many little secrets and all kinds of other stuff in there. So, like, this is the best time. This is the best time to be a Warframe player right now. And in this quest in particular, with us being able to play with the Hex, you know, our different ones of our choosing, like, I love it. I just think this whole update's just been such a home run. Just, it's a really good time. Oh, see, now I don't know. PG, I think that then whenever Rusalka was saying that, she still wants Entrati. I think the Indifference still wants its poor finger. You know, it's still would like its finger back. So I already know what's going to happen whenever we talk to Kalimas. I can't say, fortunately. And if I said something to you that wasn't that, it would just be a lie. Yeah, we are really in Warframe's golden age. This is, like I said, if you were, you know, dedicated enough to stick it out through some of the little bit more difficult times, if you will, you're getting rewarded for it now. Pure and simple. Listen, Tom, I apologize, but like I said, I if you search hard enough, you can find out what happens. I'll leave it to that. Actually, you don't even need to search hard enough. It was just presented to me today. And I did not have the strength. I did not have the strength to withhold. Because I need lore. I need story. Yeah, I mean, Rebecca's just, whatever she's done, whatever she's injected into the group, it's all good things. It is all good things, everybody. But Let's see what it said. Do you think this is an opportunity to reset? I don't necessarily know that the Warframe universe needs to be reset. I do think that it's going to... Look, I could be wrong on this, everybody, but I'm going to be flat out honest when I say that I don't think that we're going to see an end to the Man in the Wall saga for years yet. Like, I think this is just the beginning of it. I just think that this story is too big to just next year have us fight the thing and kill it and then be done and that's it. I just think it's too big. And I think what Entrati kind of alluded to when he was getting interrogated, which we've already kind of seen the tiniest, well, we've seen more than the tiniest, but one thing in particular really signifying it was the end of the Whispers in the Walls. I think I see at least how the Man in the Wall is going to go. I mean, there are definitely parts in that quest that Warframe 1999, where the indifference does very much seem to be trying to plead with us to show us the other side of things. I don't necessarily know what that means because we don't know. We only have bits and pieces of the real. Until we get that, we can't make a decision. But that's what both the Entrati and the Indifference want. They both want us to make choices without data. And choices without information typically go bad and are almost 100% of the time forced manipulation. If someone ever forces you to make a decision without all the information, that is a clear and present danger. And it's basically saying, I need you to make the decision based on this bit of information that I want you to know. And that's why I don't trust, really either side of them right now. I'm in the same place that the Drifters seem to be, like after the interrogation. Like, look, I'm not either one of your puppets at this point. I'm going to make my own choice. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's stream, today's wonderful, amazing Super Quest. I mean, I don't want to be 100% because you just never know. I'm never 100% on anything. But probably my favorite quest. That is absolutely for the gameplay. Just so good. It just shows how far things have come. If you go back and play some of the older quests and then you play this quest, it's almost like they're different games. I'm trying to stay as indifferent as I can. How's that? That's the best way to say it. Because emotional decisions are the ones that'll get you in trouble. So, with that being said, thank you all very much for being here today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, and I will see you all very soon. So, take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.